Ed Stroud, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
I'm excited to get to know you more. I've known of your name as a result of a time prior brokerage together in the industry we're in. And yet this is our first time sitting down, talking, getting to know each other a little bit more. And so I'm looking forward to it. Share a little bit about who you are and what you're passionate about.
Well, from a real estate, number one, who I am, I'm a husband, I'm a father, right? On my Facebook profile, it would say I'm a leader of men. And I say that not to say because I'm a leader or you should follow me. I'm a leader of men because I grew up in the Boy Scouts of America, and we still have a passionate group of people that work for me and others that we are still involved in that program, and our mission is very simple in that area. It's speaking the lives of boys to create better men for society and better men in our country to, not just take things from our country, but actually to give back to our country. And so,
man, what a powerful message.
I come from a patriotic background for sure.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
But then if you want to go deeper than that and go on to other things, I would say from the real estate side, my father made me buy my first house when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So what he was trying to teach me at the time, which at 13 I had no clue.
Sure.
And but what he was trying to teach me at the time is you need to understand your credit score. You need to understand finance. You need to understand how to take care of your money and how to use money to make more money, so you're not just broke all the time at a job, right? And so I learned at an early age that those things matter. Now, did I learn at 14 and 15 and I started killing it? No. I was like every other 13-year-old kid. That lesson was going to take a minute to learn.
Sure.
But within my 20s, I started buying more property. And I haven't stopped. I'm 51 today, and I haven't stopped because I see a bigger picture. I met my wife 18 years ago, been married 17 years. And there was a day where she came home and said, the first year I think we were married, you got to stop buying property.
How many do you have?
We have about 250, 60 doors somewhere in
250, 260.
So, I mean, we build a lot of stuff. We've got, we buy a lot. We try to at least. And, we run numbers, make sure things make sense.
Okay.
But since then, since my father did that, my father taught me a lot of lessons. He was a self-made man and did a lot of good things. And I learned so much just watching him and seeing how he did business. But since then, I mean, my oldest son's 15, 2 years ago, he bought a house.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a family tradition going on.
Yeah, that's the goal. It really is. And I wanted to make that a tradition in honor of my father and my mom, who definitely supported it. And then my middle son's 13 this year. And so we're digging. We're trying to find that house.
Good for you guys.
And then my daughter is 11, so I got a couple more years.
That's right.
It'll be fun to watch them do that. And I mean, ultimately, you always hope your kids will kind of follow in your footsteps, but on the other hand, you want them to go do what their purpose in life is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when it comes to your father, it sounds like he's been obviously very influential. What's the one thing that you really learned as a result of your relationship with him?
I think the biggest thing I learned is business. I mean, just in general, finance. I would tell you, and my father's passed for about 10 years, but I would tell you that I learned a lot of what not to do watching my father, right? And I say that not to put him down. My kids are learning a lot of what not to do for the day-to-day stuff.
No one's perfect, right?
And so I get to learn those lessons at not a cost to me. It was a cost to him at the time, but I got to learn those lessons early. And as long as you keep picking those up and putting those in the back pocket, saying I'm going to need that one of these days.
Okay.
I think we get better.
Sure.
And I think my kids should be even better than I am.
100%.
The goal, right?
Yeah. So share with us one of those nuggets of wisdom looking back.
So here's what I would say about my father, at least. I would say my father liked to start a lot of businesses, but he didn't manage well, right? And so what happened is during that time, I had to become the person that knew how to manage things. So it's fun to start stuff, but it's not fun to keep it going or to raise it up. And he was good at starting stuff, and some things really took off in his life, and some things didn't. And they, flamed out in a pile of ashes, right?
Yeah.
So I think I got to see a lot more of that, and so as I started getting into the business side more, I think I had a different perspective of we're going to start this, and I either have to run it and manage it, or I have to find the right person and leverage that
Okay.
management. And that's where, you know, if people would tell you who I am from like my team and my companies,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guy that will definitely empower leaders. So that's the goal. I want them to lead. I want to pour into them to lead,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want them to mess up once in a while,
Sure.
right? That's how
Right.
we're going to get better. I think we all know that.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it's if I'm tracking with you, the it's one thing to have the vision and start a business, and yet you're passionate not only about that, but also the follow through to keep it going and keep it profitable long term.
Yeah, I would say I'm passionate about the people I put in charge to follow through and do that now,
Yeah,
right?
I see.
I've still got a little bit of my father in me where I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with the day-to-day stuff like that.
Sure.
But on the opposite side, I know early on I have to get deep into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can remove myself once I find the right who.
Okay.
Right? Keller Williams, right? Who's
Right.
your who? That was where I learned that
Right.
statement. The who is so important.
Sure.
The who, not the how. I mean, we've
Yeah,
heard
that's a book right
my
there.
coaches,
Who not how.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And my coaches have told me that throughout the years, and it's right. If you get the right people,
Uh-huh.
the rest is easy,
Man,
right?
that's so good. Yeah. Leverage.
And it's great. I mean, finding the right person, not so easy.
Right. Finding the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's where I go back to the whole Boy Scout thing.
Mhm.
I went back to my sphere. I went back to the people I know, and I've tried to hire them for years, and one at a time, I've gotten them into our organization, and we have the same values already.
Yeah.
We already know each other and understand each other, and
Sure.
so now we push on each other to make ourselves better. So
Right on. Okay.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's neat. So, leader of men, you mentioned that a little bit ago. Elaborate more on that. That's intriguing.
Well, I just think, you know, from that Boy Scout side, I'm 38 years in the Boy Scouts since I was 13 years old or whatever, and I've taken positions. I've taken some longer term positions that are just kind of more towards our council and what we do here Boy Scout wise.
Mhm.
But we have an honor program here that basically is speaking into the lives of boys, and we do that. We do that. This program is almost 100 years old. Next year will be 100 years old.
Mm.
So there's a lot of systems and things that have already been put in place over the years, but
Mhm.
we've just tried to drill down on it even more to keep young boys accountable. In today's world, we don't always see parenting done at the
Right.
level it needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And so that kid never has a chance in
Mhm.
life to get to where he really needs to be.
Hmm.
And so if mom or dad, and in all reality, you know, here we go, we're going to go in. You took me down this path, I'll go down this path, right?
Right.
1 in 4 have a father in the household in America, right? 1 in 4.
25%. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. That's sad.
That's an amazing number. And it's usually they don't have a dad in the household is
Mhm.
what that number is. So
Right.
when you think about that, a mom that has to raise children and on their own, and
Mhm.
they have to still work and create income and do all the
Right.
stuff it takes. That mom may not. I mean, she's going to try as hard as she can, but
Mhm.
that kid still needs a father figure, whether it's a boy or a girl. They still need a father figure in their life, and they don't have it.
Yeah.
And so Boy Scouts, from what I have seen over the years, the 38 years, is many young kids that have come through that program that probably never had a chance now has a chance.
Wow.
And they get to, you know, they still got to make decisions in their life and make
Mhm.
good ones, but they've got other people loving and surround them
Mhm.
saying, stop that. What are you doing? Do
Right.
you realize what you're doing?
That's that accountability factor.
That's exactly
Yeah, we
right.
need somebody up in our
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously kids take that different ways at different
Mhm.
times, but over time, and to be continuous and steady with it has
Mhm.
definitely changed the outlook on kids that I thought that kid's going to never make it in life.
Mhm.
That I'm like, my God, he grew into something pretty
Wow.
cool. And that's fun.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fun.
incredible.
Yeah.
Is there one story in particular of somebody you could share without sharing the name that?
Yeah, there's probably a million of these type of situations, but it truly is that single mom and maybe not good. I mean, there's a kid, last name Ewing, I will say,
Mhm.
that grew up in our program, and there are some. You come up in different ranks, not in scouting, but in the honor program. You come
Mhm.
up to these different ranks, and there's certain ranks where, like, just going out and building a fire and staying out all night not by yourself, but kind of by yourself is what I would say.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever by themselves, but that's hard for kids,
Mhm.
right? That you want me to stay up all night and build this fire, and
That'd be hard for me.
it's hard,
Right,
right?
yeah.
It's not easy, and a lot of
Sure.
kids is like, I don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
they just give up before they ever do. But this kid tried it. He went out and he didn't succeed at it. But we took him and still poured into him after the fact and
Wow.
helped him do more things. And that kid grew up and you know, a kid that probably didn't have a chance in life at all, I think, now holds a job and gives back to his community and still active in scouting. I mean, you know,
Wow.
that to me is something that's like, and we've got hundreds of those cases out there where we just really build some really great people. And I tell people all the time, I think it's the best organization out there, although it's been slung through the mud over the years here in the last 10 years. But most of the things that's been slung through the mud was back in the 40s and 50s.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
So really it doesn't apply today. It is the, you know, and this is going to sound, we're into the Boy Scout side here, but this is going to sound crazy because after you've seen everything on TV, all the lawsuits and all the stupid, and it's not stupid. I mean, serious people got hurt.
Sure.
Right? But what was dumb is since 1982, they've put a youth protection program in that is now the Cadillac of youth protection throughout the U.S. and throughout the world. There is no better youth protection program out there. And Catholic Church and other places that have had issues, they have modeled that. That is the program.
Wow.
And we've had that in since 1982. I think I came into scouting in 85 or 86.
It's been around for a while,
so
40 years.
And it is definitely a program that's very high level. And so
I see.
it's one of the safest things we do. No one kid can be alone with one adult.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, some best practices, it sounds like.
It takes two at all times.
Yeah.
And we've got systems and plans throughout that protect that. So.
That's wise.
Yeah,
Buddy system, it sounds like.
It's a great, another system.
Yeah.
You know,
Buddy
we build
system.
systems all day long.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
And this is just another system. But
So like the story you shared with the young man and you mentioned his last name, what is it that he grabbed a hold of that made, what was the difference maker for him?
consistency,
Man,
right? Just
good.
that consistent. We've got people that are always checking on you, always doing something.
that's a big deal. Yeah.
You could get lost so quick, right?
Oh yeah, we moved without getting into it too much. We moved over 36 times, not considering the same place twice.
Oh my God!
And we lived in a lot of pay by the week motels, which were not the best environments.
Yeah.
Because it was people more just trying to get through the day for survival mode. And I remember scenes of prostitution and drugs, mostly in Seattle. Well, most of the pay by the week motels were in Seattle, but we always bounced back and forth between the Seattle area and the Kansas City area. And man, I just remember the longing, even though I had two different stepdads growing up, I just remember the longing for someone to pay attention with me. Just that I think all of us, or at least I do, have a strong desire for a father figure. So stability and having some structure,
No doubt.
I think is important for all of us. I'll speak for myself being a guy. For me, I remember just longing for that. A mentor of mine mentioned this book recently called The Second Mountain. And it talks about, it's an interesting book. It talks about moving really from success to significance, impacting the lives of others. And it talks about how, what direction do I want to go with that? It emphasizes the point that our culture, our American culture, has done some things really well as far as creating an environment where there's so much freedom to build and be entrepreneurial. And yet it mentions the thing that our culture is currently starving for, which is why I bring it up, which is structure and discipline and accountability. That it's been so like, hey, just do whatever you want, just, beat at your own drum, where people are starving for structure and accountability. I'm like, man, I relate to that because my life has been dramatically impacted for the better by having the older guy further along the journey, not somebody that tells me what to do necessarily, but somebody that asks me questions, and that's somebody that knows me. And the challenge with instability and moving from place to place, like nobody ever really got a chance to know me that well because we were always on the move.
Right.
So I could appreciate what you're saying.
I would take it even to another level. I would say this is the problem with our country.
Man.
Right.
Right.
We hold nobody accountable. We're not afraid of the police anymore. We're not afraid. Government's not afraid of anything. Not to get political by any means, but this is our problem.
Yeah.
Right. There was a time where you were afraid to get caught to doing something, and today you don't care.
Right.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it blows my mind. Sometimes I see these scenes from little news clips on social media where somebody's, telling a police officer off, and I'm like, man, maybe my thinking is like, man, I still, even as a 40-year-old man, if I get pulled over, like, number one, I know I'm guilty because I was speeding or something like that. And then, like, I just, for me, it's yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Like, I just have a reverence for people in an authoritative role. And yet, I guess everybody's a little bit different when it comes to that.
And again, that's probably goes back to parenting. It goes back to accountability.
Right.
You know, you see the memes right now in society. Here's the meme when I went to school, right? And that's the dad saying, why didn't you do your homework? And why didn't you blah, blah, blah?
Sure.
And today's meme is pointing to the teacher,
right?
Victim. Why are you picking on my kid?
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong?
Yeah.
Where did we go off the tracks where people weren't accountable to having children and actually being taught to raise them correctly? And you know, I'm not saying correctly is one way. I'm saying just at least to have respect for other people. I mean, that's
100%. Some of the basics, honor, dignity, and respect. And I would agree. So one thing that I'm learning about you, Ed, is that you're passionate about people, the development of people.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I mean, I don't know. The funny thing is people are like, oh, you could talk to anybody. And I can, but it's not like I go looking to talk to everybody sometimes. It takes certain environments. So I'm a high DI from the disc side of the world.
Okay.
My D takes over a lot of times when I'm in big groups. But once I hook on, I'm usually can help people and really dig in.
Yeah.
If I can build an interest and faith with them, I guess. And I say that because if I feel like people don't want to really do what they're saying they're wanting to do, I'm probably not interested.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we run our team, right?
Sure.
So people are like, God, I want to be on your team. Great. Let's take you through the process.
Yeah.
There's a process. What? And I'm like, well, we just don't say, come on through the door and let's go.
Right.
We actually go through a process and sit down. Let's just really talk about what it is that you want and what it is that we're looking for. And does this really work? Let's figure that out now. So in 3 months, we don't have to go through some messy breakup thing that
good call.
we should have never done to begin with. Right?
Yeah. So seeing if you're in alignment with them. Yeah. So what do you, tell us a little bit about that process? Because some people are just quick to hire, quick to fire, and just.
Well, that method is out there. There's no question.
Sure.
I think it's fun when you go quick to hire. It's not fun when you go quick to fire, or actually it's usually them saying, I'm out of here, this sucks, or whatever, right? But I think and I did it. I did the quick to hire. I mean, we go through these things, but what we have found is we're wasting more time and money just saying, come on in and let's go to work, and turning everything on and giving time and doing all that to somebody that never was going to come in and make it in our industry, never going to come in and give us the time that we needed to train them, never going to come in and do the job.
Sure.
It looks sexy. It's not sexy.
Yeah.
We all know that, right?
Right.
It's not sexy. It's hard work. It's consistency. It's being accountable to other people.
Right.
And I think a lot of those people never should have been hired to begin with. And I've got a list of names upstairs I could give you tomorrow.
Sure.
People that we brought in that we shouldn't have brought in.
Yeah.
And so since then, just having built the companies that we have and the leadership team that we have, and that's probably the biggest game changer for us, is creating a leadership team, meeting regularly. We meet once a month. I take them to my house. We go in the basement. We hang out for half a day. Yeah. And we do leadership. And that's what we do. And then we do 2 retreats a year, and we do leadership. And we talk about what if and who's the next leaders, who should we be probably getting rid of some point, maybe. I don't know. We don't have anybody on that bucket right now, thank God, but we have hard conversations and we really push each other back and forth.
Is this the event you were telling me about a little bit ago? That's coming up?
Well, that's the entire company. So
got it.
Yeah, so we do several events a year. We do 2 leadership retreats, and one's a day event, one's an overnight.
And you put these on yourself?
Yeah.
That's so. I've been in this industry 17 years, and it's. I think you're the first person I've met that doesn't usually. I'll finish my thought on that one. To where usually it's a leader that takes the team. Best case scenario I met, the leader pays for the tickets to take the team to someone's leadership event. Not saying one is better than another. Yeah. And the important part is investing in leaders. And yet I think what is unique about you from my perspective right now is that you create these events yourself. Man, that's almost unheard of from my perspective. Like, who else is doing that?
Yeah.
Usually they're going to, Buffini's event or whoever
Right.
else is.
And I would say we do a little bit of that. I've been part, and I say that I do that.
Yeah.
My wife does that with me a lot of times, and sometimes we'll take a few people throughout the years. We've taken certain places with us because we think, hey, this is relevant. But in all reality, you can go listen to everybody else's stuff, and it's important.
Sure.
Take some good takeaways.
Oh, yeah.
But what are you going to do within the organization, and what should we be doing? Because they don't know our organization.
Yeah.
Right. They know the real estate industry a little bit, and they
Sure.
understand that, but there's a lot of different people in the real estate industry, and they don't all have the same goals. They
Right.
don't have the same drive. They don't
Yeah.
have the same things that they want to do. And we're talking about our companies. We're talking about what we want to do. In fact, what specifically do you want to do? You're the leader of property management, right? What are you wanting to do next year? What do you want to see this go to?
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to look at me and go, well, what do you want? Well, we're trying to figure that out together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I want growth. I
Yeah.
want to see us go to here. What do you want? Yeah, that's what I want. I want to do
Right.
that too. Or, hey, I want to go bigger than that. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about doing this. Okay. Now you're pushing me.
Right.
And
Which is what talent does, pushes us. Yeah.
So that's the fun part. And I tell everybody, I go into my basement usually in October, and I don't come out till sometime in November, it feels like. So
Man.
I'm gone for a month. I'm still in the office. but
Sure.
I do go a lot. I leave a lot, and I go focus on that event. And, I know a lot of teams, they say, let's go do a year-end event and go do, goal planning and stuff like that.
Right.
Ours is different. We've already started goal planning. That's all going to be wrapped up. And then when we show up to what we call Stroud Summit, we have a team day on a Thursday.
That's what you were telling me about.
Yeah,
Stroud Summit.
Stroud
Okay.
Summit. So we have a team day on Thursday.
Yeah.
And that's lunch at 11 o'clock somewhere in Kansas City is probably what it'll be.
Okay.
And then we go do an activity. So we've done paintball, we've done laser tag, we've done breakout rooms. I mean, we've done them all.
Yeah.
I'm looking for new ideas, by the way. So,
Nice.
but we're going to go do something this year. I don't usually let it out until everybody shows up. So we got something that is more unique this year that we're going to do.
Okay,
with the team.
cool.
We'll do that from like 1 to 2, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
All the team, and it's just fun. Then we'll go back. We always do our event at Western Crown Center. It's just kind of my place.
Yeah.
So we'll go back, hang out. We'll have 6 o'clock that night. We'll have a little happy hour, and all our vendors will come in.
Okay.
And we get to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with our vendors, which who's focused on that, right?
Right.
I think that, there are partners in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of referrals to be had on one side.
Sure.
And then there's a lot of referrals to be had on the other side. We should be pushing stuff to them. They should definitely help push stuff to us.
100%.
And we just got a tighter bond there. We'll have some dinner that night. That'll be the end of it.
Nice.
And then the next day is our summit, where we're in a big hotel conference room, and
Okay.
we're digging in, and I've prepared all the stuff. We've got, big screen, the big 150-inch screens.
Wow.
We've got backdrops. We've decorated it up.
Man.
It looks like a high-level conference.
It sounds like it. That's impressive.
And so we want them to think, hey, this is the level of how we operate.
Yeah.
And we've got people like this year, we'll have 6 that I know of right now, 5 or 6, that are outsiders looking at our team. And it's like,
Okay.
why don't you come take a look under the hood? Right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
this is the time to do that, because number one, you get to hang out with my team for a day and a half.
Right.
So immediately, and I always tell them this, what's going on is you're getting to look at our company like nobody else gets to look at our company. But let me remind you, my company's looking at you
It's not one
like
sided.
nobody else is looking at you.
Yeah. Exactly. It goes both ways.
It does. And
Yeah.
and we want that. We
Right.
want that because I want, my goal would be the company be going, yeah, we love that person. That person definitely fits.
Right.
And we want them saying the same thing. And
Yeah.
when it's AB, it doesn't work. When it's AB this way, it doesn't work. But when it's AA, it's like, oh yeah, I think we got
Some
a
possibility
team.
there. Some
Yeah.
magic happening.
And then it's just bringing them on and starting
Yeah.
down the process. So
Is that an annual event?
that's always it was always in October. Since we've been at Real Rise is at the end of October. So we pushed it to November because me and my wife and some others, sometimes we want to go to Real Rise and see their big event, and then take takeaways there and bring back and enter it into ours. And and that helps filter it down to the agents. And
I see what you're saying.
See, right?
Yeah. And that just wrapped up like a week or two ago.
Yeah,
right?
it
Recently.
did.
What was did you have one main takeaway that stood out to you?
Oh my gosh. I just We do a couple different deals once a month. We've got our Aspire. I know we're going to talk about that. We do a monthly Aspire. I also am in with a group. So Mike and Rachel Novak out of Washington, Jim Black out of Massachusetts, myself here in Kansas City. We run what's called the Agent Growth Hub, and we're on once a week. And so we just did this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Rachel led this one, and she said, what's the takeaways from Rise? And everybody was talking about all the different stuff. Their tech is second level. I mean, it's not even close to most companies. Just their systems are next level as well. But when they came to call on me to say, what was your thoughts? I went back to culture. I went back to culture, and I said, right now, Real has got to have the best culture in the industry. And I truly believe that. Now, you know, am I the right guy that can make that statement 100%? Probably not, because I'm not been in every office across America.
Sure.
But I've been in a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the brands real well. I know how they pay. I know all that pretty well.
Pretty dialed in, yeah.
And for me to say this is, not everybody will see it the way I see it.
Sure.
Right. So when you talk about culture, maybe you're thinking culture differently than I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is Real has a culture right now of collaboration.
That's a big
one.
We're
raising people up, and what I talked about yesterday on that podcast was, and we're protecting it. That's where everybody fails. That's where it always fails. Everybody says, "Oh, we got a great culture," but are you protecting it? And I don't think people protect it, and people go, "Well, the leadership should be protecting this." No, that's not the culture.
How do you protect culture?
We call each other out on it, right?
Oh.
When me and you are at RE/MAX, right? You're a RE/MAX guy.
Right.
When we're at RE/MAX and I come from Real over to RE/MAX and I say, you know what we need to do? We need to force back. We need to push back on these guys. They're not giving us enough pay, or they're not giving us this, or you're going to say, hey, that's not what we do here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what you had when you were coming in. You thought that was good and you agreed to it. Why now?
Right.
Let's push back on this a little bit and say, we can all do better. We can all raise each other up, but we can't have this stray cat going off saying, this is what I'm going to do, right?
Yeah.
So I think people protect culture. If you're at RE/MAX, maybe you're the leader at RE/MAX, right? I don't know if you are or not, really. Are you just what are you there?
I'm an agent. I was the director of agent development. But however, I transitioned out of that role probably about 2 months ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. But now as an agent, your job is to help protect that culture. So when they bring in new agents and they start doing that, you go, whoa, hold on, guys.
Yeah.
And you'll change their mindset the right way. And
sure,
not everybody does it right. But for the most part, I know people are going to protect it. And that's what I tell people all the time. Yes, my saying is, yes, it always starts with leadership. It always starts with leadership. If I'm not the model of what we should be, then it's all on my back.
Right.
But if I am, and I am saying this is what we are, and they're saying, yes, that's what we want to be, then now you have to protect that.
There's a standard there that you're protecting.
When you're sitting at the lunch table and somebody starts complaining, whoa, hold on here. Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why do you say it that way? Why? I mean, what's got you so upset there on that? Obviously digging, asking questions, being curious, but then pushing back on, that's not what we do here.
Yeah.
I don't, did somebody tell you that's what we do?
That's that care and candor piece. It goes hand in hand. Yeah. That's solid.
100%.
So the culture piece.
So I think culture is key. And I mean, I can speak to 3 different companies very well because I was there.
Sure.
One Home Realty was a company we started originally that was just our private company, and we had great culture. We went to KW in 2015, I think, and we felt like we had great culture there. And then from there, Real came along, and as I've told people, and you can go out to the StroudForReal.com and you can see some of the videos I've done. The family, the Steve and Dave and
John's family.
John's there. I couldn't get the Johns out. Sorry, Steve, if you're watching this. Steve Johns and I felt like we had a great relationship. I was at KW, and I felt like we had a good friendship. And when I was looking at the possibilities of leaving a year prior, me and him had lunch. And I said, I'm looking at this. I don't know where it's going to lead, but I want you to know.
Yeah.
I never want somebody to go, well, Ed's looking. Oh, what happened?
Right.
So I said, I'm looking, and I really want to know. And my first question is, they're doing something over here that the industry's I mean, these changes are happening.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to affect us at KW?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And is there something we can be doing now to start offsetting what that looks like?
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, Steve has some control over that, maybe not all the control he needs over that. But over time, we'd go to lunch every other month, and I'd be a little closer. And
Sure.
until a year later, I said, I think I'm going to make this move.
I see.
And he, I didn't want to tell him that, and he didn't want to hear it. I mean,
Right.
we wanted to work together and do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
how long ago was that? A few years? Year or two?
yeah, I think that was a year and a half. Is
Okay.
what I would say.
Yeah.
And
Made a change.
we made the change, and it's coming up on 2 years, and super happy with the change.
Yeah.
And I know there's companies out there, and KW has been accused of this a little bit as well in the past. They're recruiting companies. That's what it feels like, right?
Sure.
And the thing with real is there's probably some people out there that are probably hotter recruiters trying to recruit. But we really, the culture pushes back on that a little bit. We want you to get in front of people and have conversations, and we want to share the positives of what we do and what we have, but it's not about recruitment all day long.
Yeah.
And so what they did is they actually put some really cool things in place, like you have to be a producing agent. You're not coming over here and just picking the phone up and trying to recruit people.
Okay.
You have to produce.
It's a standard, yeah.
There's a standard.
Wow.
We are an agent real estate company. We're selling real estate. And if that doesn't fit your model, then go somewhere else.
I see. You can't just come and hang a license, it sounds like. Okay.
I mean, you could probably hang a license and do nothing.
Yeah.
If you're like on the team and you got a different job. But as far as to come here, hang your license, and then start calling and saying, hey, you want to come to Real? Hey, you want to come to Real?
Sure.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
And people have been let go from Real because of that.
Okay.
And I love it. I mean, that's my culture.
Yeah.
I'm like, this fits me, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you appreciate clear standards.
Very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear.
So I see Aspire.
Yeah.
Another people development opportunity. Tell us more about that.
It really is. I think the idea with Aspire, number one, I want to say this right up front because it's newer, so not everybody understands, but it is not a recruitment company. It's not a recruitment event, right? I look back, and I've traveled all around the U.S. I've been a part of some of the biggest mastermind groups out there that had, 50 million, 100 million, 500 million producers in there. And so I've got to learn a lot from some of the best people around, and I got to take the pieces that fit me and leave the ones that didn't. And but I'm always traveling to the coast is what it feels like. I'm going to maybe a Nashville even, but I'm always going somewhere else. And I'm in St. Joe, but I've got offices in Kansas City. I've got several agents in Kansas City. I've got offices in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. We should be better than that. And I think we can bring, why can't we bring that talent here and give it to our people in Kansas City and create a big mega event that happens every year where we bring in people like Ben Kinney and Spring B and Eric Hatch, who's a great guy. Sharon's coming to our event this year.
Right.
He's the president of Real. And yes, here's what I'm going to tell you about that. He's not going to be saying you should come to Real.
Yeah.
He's going to say, let's talk about your listings. Let's talk about how I can help you get more listings.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a RE/MAX agent? Go get more listings because that's what you need, right?
Yeah, I've been listening to him on YouTube.
Have you?
You're right.
Good.
Yeah.
He's probably the biggest voice in real estate right now is what I would say. He really is. And maybe that's just me saying that, but I would say, just looking at everything, he's got to be the biggest voice out there. And he's talking to his agents. That's the thing I love about him. But yeah, Sharon will be there. So Aspire, let's just talk about what that looks like. It's broker agnostic, number one.
So no matter what brand.
No matter. Yep. No matter. So we've got RE/MAX coming. We've got people from Keller coming. We've got people from Berkshire Hathaway. We've got people coming from all over.
Nice.
And at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to tell you. You're not going to come to this event and have somebody saying, hey, you ought to come to my brokerage.
Right.
Or at least that's what we're telling everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
If somebody does that, just let me know because I'll take care of that real quick.
Yep.
But in all reality, I've told everybody, this is not a recruitment event.
Yeah.
This is an event that we think Kansas City deserves, and we're growing it slowly. But we're going to I've already got speakers lined up for next year at this time.
Nice.
And I've got some high-level names that are not given me the commitment, but said, I think I'm available. Let me see. And, and they want to come. So we just want to keep doing that, right? And we want to bring our agents together. And it shouldn't be a scary place for agents to come together and learn together.
That gets back to that collaboration piece.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
I think it's huge, especially in today's time. So many people just feel alone, like they're on an island doing their own thing. And one thing I learned from one of my coaches, that if I'm doing something by myself, I may be making it harder than it needs to be. We're better together.
Right.
So you envision a place of collaboration. Talk to us about how would we know if we need to be in that room? Because all of us are busy. All of us have schedules and commitments. How do we know if we need to be there?
One of the questions I'd ask myself right off the bat if it was me is, how often am I pouring into me? Right? And I think a lot of agents don't. And so number one, that's you. If that's you, you should be at this event. I think, I know a lot of people try to judge events to say, well, that one doesn't look very good. That one may be good. I mean, I went when I had no clue what I was going to get out of it because, again, I wanted to pour into me so I could pour into people in my company as well. And I feel like if you're selling real estate, or maybe if you're not selling real estate, is the real question, you should be at this event because you're going to be around high dollar producers and you're going to be around some people that sell 5 homes a year. And either way, you should be able to walk out of our event with at least 1 to 2 items that could change your business for good. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about everywhere from how to go get listings to maybe solo agents that don't know how to grow a business or grow a team. And again, you're not going to hear the same standard answer on how to grow a team. I'm going to present probably for 20, 30 minutes on different ways to leverage yourself where it's not just build a team. It's going to be empowering and more profitable for them to maybe go different routes to do so. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I know you got a great thing to speak on.
Yeah,
what
I'm pumped about it.
Again?
Yeah, I'm going to be sharing out of my book, Path to Purpose.
Yeah.
I believe that right now it reminds me of 2007 when I launched my business.
Yeah.
I was 21, 22, had no clue about the real estate space or really what was going on in the world. I was working as a fireman, EMT, had a landscaping business. And my grandma, who was a retired mortgage lender out of Phoenix, Arizona, she mentioned to me, Chris, have you considered real estate? And I thought, well, never bought a house, don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna go check it out. And so I went and spoke with the agent, a gentleman named Bill Benson at Coldwell Banker, who my grandparents in Raymore bought their house from. And I mean, the rest is history. Here's what I know to be true, though. Launching in August of 2007 with my real estate career, by the following 12 months later, the Coldwell Banker office, with no exaggeration, was cut from like 60 some odd agents down to 30 some odd agents. People were just leaving. And I'm like, what is going on? But I was on a mission. I met with the broker, set some goals, and it seemed reasonable. If I was going to work and go into the office, he told me, Chris, number 1, you have to list the last. Number 2, go knock on doors and do open houses. And so that's what I did. I did it 7 days a week. I was looking at my 10-year goal, my goal sheet that I wrote down on a blank piece of paper out of the printer machine. And I wrote on there my 10-year goal. One of them was to have 1 day off a week. It was sad, and yet the tenacity and passion. Here's the thing. What I hope to accomplish as a result of our event is going to be encouraging and challenging the person that's like me back then, ready to make a change in their life, and they're serious about it. Because when we're serious about life changing, I'm willing to show up in a way that will cause my life to change. So what happened over the next, I set a goal to take 52 listings my first 12 months, not knowing really much about what a listing was. I fell short. I took 46 and only sold half of them. And yet it was the most income producing year of my life. Or looking back, I still get excited about serving people and taking listings. I'm more interested and passionate about the wealth building and the people development side of things now in this season of my life, being a 40-year-old man versus 21 or 22 back then. And so I'm going to be sharing out of my book, The Path to Purpose, encouraging and challenge people to, number 1, gain clarity on your purpose. Because I think with the changes in our industry, there's going to be a line divided, and I think I'm already seeing it, from the people that say they want it versus the people willing to roll up their sleeves, become the type of person who can do the thing, to be probably more disciplined and structured, insert some accountability in their life that's going to hold them accountable to do the thing they said they was going to do. So I'm going to be sharing out of my book, The Path to Purpose, that I just released May of this year.
So we got Sharon talking about listings. I'm going to talk about how to leverage a little more. You're going to talk about Path to Purpose.
Right.
I think Sheila's going to be speaking on just being kind, just the kindness
Man,
side.
I love that.
And she's got a story. We helped her son. She's out of Texas. We helped her son in Lee Summit sell and buy a house. And one of my agents, I gave it to Dave Fox, and she's going to tell a story about Dave and how things worked out because of his kindness and his heart.
Wow.
And, it was cool. It was a good move, and that's what she's passionate about. So we got a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
And I think, again, you're going to take, I mean, if you wanted to take 10 things out of this, I think you could.
Sure.
The real question is the consistency of being within a community. And we got the monthly Aspire piece, and I think that's important to get on, because we'll bring people from all over the U.S. to that. I'll speak about 4 times a year within that, but I'm going to have guys like you and other people like that can come on for a month and just focus on one topic.
Nice.
Bring everybody together in a Zoom call and just do some fun stuff that way.
Man, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So if somebody was interested, where can they go to find out more information?
Everything's out at discoveraspire.com.
Okay.
And discoveraspire.com. And then obviously you can go to the Spire Facebook group.
Okay.
And so to get into our private group, you have to just let me know, or you can go to the private group and ask for membership.
Okay.
But you have to be a licensed agent.
Got it. That's fair.
The thing, right?
Yeah, there's the qualifier right there.
The qualifier.
I'll drop the link to the website where people could click to find out more information and purchase a ticket.
And again, this needs to become an annual event. So here's my challenge back to whoever's listening to this. We're saying, hey, we're willing to go do the hard work for us to bring higher level talent into KC, so we can bring all agents together in Kansas City and let them learn from some of the best people in the industry.
Man.
But you got to want to buy that ticket for $25 and show up. You got to give half a day to keep that right outside your back door, instead of having to travel halfway across the country to go find it, right?
Right, yeah.
And I mean, it's fun to go travel and do that too.
Sure.
But why not in our back door?
Absolutely.
Why not right here?
Yeah, it's nice. Right in our hometown.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we just want to, and there's no, some people say, are you doing this to try to make money? Yeah, it's not making money, and it probably won't make money. I'm doing this because I just want it to work and watch people grow. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
That's a beautiful thing.
To just have people like us coming into those things and just helping people grow their businesses. And, I'm, my big thing overall is investments. So I've set myself and my family, and me and my wife have set ourselves up pretty well there over time. And we still sell real estate. We're not as active on the sales side as our agents are, obviously, but we've got a lot of good things. But man, watching our people grow around us is just awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
And that's what I love. And I think, I don't care what brokerage you're at. I don't care.
Sure.
I've been to 2 or 3 different brokerages.
Right.
Who am I to judge, right?
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, they're like, oh, you just want people to go to Real. I don't. Actually, I want the right people to go to Real. I want the people that see the value to go to Real. And if they say, hey, Real doesn't fit my value, great, who does? Well, Remax does, or Coldwell, or whoever.
Right.
Then you should go there.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean, who's me? Who am I to tell you, don't go there, go here?
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's an individual decision. If
100%.
somebody would want information on it, I'll share and sit down and talk all day long with you about it.
Sure.
But I'm not going to come at you and be like, you need to change brokerages.
Yeah.
So again, that's not happening at Aspire. I can promise you.
Yeah.
That. I can promise you that.
So what's the one thing you guarantee people are going to leave with after their investment in themselves for a few hours that day?
Well, I would say number one, if you've not heard Sharon speak, you're going to be like, holy crap. I mean, this guy is game on. I've heard him and been with him many a times now. And I just, the only thing I can equate him to is kind of Gary Keller, but definitely different.
Yeah, he has his own style for sure. I've been listening to him on YouTube.
But when you listen to Gary speak, it was like I'm in. I'm zoned in, because he's going to say some intelligent stuff.
Right.
Sharon does it differently. He makes you feel like you're together in this. Where maybe I didn't get that from Gary sometimes.
Okay.
but Sharon is just high level, high energy, and he's gonna when he gets passionate, his voice will get super high.
Okay.
And I love it because it's like it doesn't squeak, but it's like he gets going, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's into it now.
Nice.
Whatever he just said, we're listening.
Yeah.
That was it, and I love it, man. I think what you're going to take out of this is a way to go back and help your business. And if your business is just awesome and great, and you say, I don't need help, okay, maybe that's true. Maybe your business is awesome and great, but I think we always need help.
100%.
We always need help.
Absolutely.
And if we can grab good information and go help implement it, I've got guys coming in looking at some of our programs that we run here in our company, and I didn't develop them. I took them from somebody else, but we're sharing with them because they're running 24/7 trying to run a business of $10 million, $15 million. And you can't do that for the rest of your life.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. And so the question is there a way to continue to grow your business without you just killing yourself every day? And there is. And I'm living proof of it, to be honest.
Right.
And my team has several situations like that where we've brought people in and helped them do that. So I just want people to know that, because
that's good.
This business will hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. And I mean,
it hurts marriages, it hurts relationship with children, it hurts finances, it hurts everything.
Right, it sure can. That's true. And success leaves clues. We can learn from each other and avoid the pain and hassle of making, fumbling around and making mistakes that come at a high expense of myself. We can learn from others. That's one of the things. I'm going to bring my notebook, and I'm going to be taking notes, and I promise at the end of it, I'm going to have a star or two by something, and that's going to be my take action item. Because I could go to an event like this and hear great things, and yet if nothing changes until something changes.
Well, that book usually goes back and is thrown on the desk, thrown in the drawer, thrown in the trash, wherever it's thrown.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's enough passion there with what they hear that they're going to take something and go
100%.
Right?
I'm confident
And the good thing is it's not over when it's over. So when we're done that day, it's not over.
That's good.
You can come back to us. You can reach out to us. I'm sure you're the same way.
Sure, absolutely.
You coach people.
100%.
Reach out. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then you'll call me. And if I don't know, we'll call somebody else. And we'll figure it out.
That's good.
But if somebody's truly in need and really is trying hard, we're going to pour into them. There's no question.
That's good. 100%. Well, Ed, it's been a treat getting to know you more. I'm pumped to join forces this month, and I'll be seeing you soon. Thanks for sharing with us.
November 12th, baby.
Man. That's what's up.
We're going to have some fun November 12th.
I look forward to it.
1, right?
Here we go.
DiscoverAspire.com.
Yep, and I'll share the link in the comments below. Just make it easy for everybody. Good job,
Appreciate
man.
You, buddy.
Thank you.